Well, I'll take us through what happened in the court. The Supreme Court, we understand, has reserved the order in the IPL match fixing case.
Yes, finally all the hearings and all the arguments in the case are over, and the Supreme Court finally reserving a judgment. As things of course stand, we understand that over a period of time there were a number of issues. It started with the question of IPL fixing, the Muddal committee, and eventually the Muddal committee gives way to all this talk around whether the BCCI should go ahead and elect a new president, and Srinivasan was in the running. That was held on, and of course another date was given for that. Then in the meantime, of course, the other issue of conflict of interest came about, and the Supreme Court also attached that matter to this particular case. So finally, when the arguments are finally over, and today, of course, all that talk about the clause 6.2.4 finally being addressed, the court has come to a point where they believe that they have heard both the sides, and they have now reserved their order. Immediately after the winter vacation is over, we can expect at some point there would be a Supreme Court judgment to address all the three contentious points.
Well,
on the question of conflict of interest, on the question of election, and of course whether those who are named in the Muddal committee have been found guilty or not.
And a crucial observation before the Honorable Supreme Court reserved the order, where they said it's a deep-rooted conflict as well. We do have Atul Vasan, former cricketer, joining us. Atul, what was important, which was seen in the court in today's hearing, was also how the BCCI submitted the list of people who will suffer if the controversial 6.2.4 rule is struck down. And it remains to be seen that if this is a fair argument by the BCCI, because the list includes name of Sunil Gavaskar, Saurav Ganguli, Ravi, Shastri, in terms of conflict of interest charge.
See, first of all, the word you use, suffer. Nobody will suffer. I think we all know how the board operates. We have discussed that. We dwelled upon that. If you're in with the regime, you get all the goodies, you get your gravy train will keep on rolling. Having said that, the board also needs the big names, the big stars, the legends of Indian cricket to send out a face of solidarity and showing that the players are part of the regime. But there are plenty of players to fill up each and every position, whether it's commentary or administration or various things. The problem has arisen because of IPLs, and the kind of commercial interest IPL has thrown, and players actually straddling 2 or 3 different posts across the formats. So I think if the court, and this might be a watershed in what is being done now, and I think if the court really comes down hard, then it has to be a standard rule for everything, whether you own a team and you're part of the administration or you are doing a job, because the board also has to send out a message that there will be players who will not toe your line, who will say what they want to say, but you should not ask everybody to fall in line. And once that happens, if the board wouldn't have actually insisted that the commentators don't talk about DRS, for example, it wouldn't have become so bad. So I think
Atul, the fine print. But Atul, the fine print of this is that we are talking about conflict of interest in perspective of administrator having a stake and directly ruling an IPL franchise. That is the conflict of interest charge against N. Srinivasan. Is it fair, first of all, to also compare the players' interest and drag them in? And also, secondly, when this amendment was made in 2008, why wasn't voices raised against it then?
Why did I wasn't?
Well, we'll try and connect with Atul Vasan, but the breaking news that is coming in at this point of time in the IPL fixing case is that the Supreme Court has reserved its order, and we are getting information that the final judgment in the IPL fixing case could be taken just immediately after the winter break of the court. We also had the fresh controversy in the court, where the BCCI has put forth the argument of the rule 6.2.4, which now allows the administrators to have commercial interest in the IPL.